in three.
Going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your two?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course. Today we are going to take a closer look at some of the commander changes that took place with our new patch, 0.5.3. So we're going to take a look at those in more detail, just because, as you all know, if you would have logged in yesterday after the patch was updated, you would have noticed that on all of your ships you would have had to retrain your captains, right? So we'll talk about that in today's video, but we're also going to talk about some of the other things like team battles that came out yesterday as well, and yeah, we'll just jump into that. So I wanted to first take a look at the Zhao here, just scrolling through some ships, taking a look at some things. But anyway, I wanted to take a look at the Zhao. This captain is my highest captain, I believe. He's level 15. Yes, it says it right there. Good. So yeah, he's a level 15 captain, and this is what I decided to go with. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I fully expect that I'm going to have to spend some gold to retrain some things, because I just sort of went through this and just to try it out, right? I kind of went with what I thought would be good. So well, we can see what I've already chosen, but I'm going to go through and I'll explain the reasons behind it. And then obviously as well, you know, I'm curious to know what you guys did. So Zhao's obviously a cruiser, so keep that in mind here. So obviously I did want situational awareness. Very important to know when am I detected in my Zhao. And that was the only tier 1 ability I went with for captain skills here. I didn't want, basic survivability. I didn't think it would be that great. Basic firing training. I mean, this is one of the major changes they made to commander abilities as well, right? They reduced it, the cutoff point basically, for these sorts of skills from 155 millimeters to 139 millimeters. Yes. So that is strange, I know. And I've been thinking about this, and I've been talking to people, you know, some friends who play the game as well about this, and I have no insider information. Let me make that clear right now. No insider information about this whatsoever. This is just a speculation that we were sort of talking about. So we know that British are coming, right? We know that the British are coming. Yeah. Anyway, we know they're coming because it was announced, and it was that was sort of released earlier this year, right? We know they're coming sometime this year. That being said, isn't it possible, or is it possible, that maybe the British would have guns like 140 millimeters or 140 or well, I don't know, maybe 138 millimeters, something like that, right? Maybe just a little bit smaller of a caliber, and then that sort of makes this make sense for them. I don't know. This is just a speculation that we were sort of going on about this whole 139 millimeter opposed to the 155 that it used to be. Anyway, didn't take basic firing training because of the 139 millimeter. I didn't think it would be that great, because I'm sure my AA defense goes up, but I'm in a Zhao and I'm not necessarily concerned at this tier anyway with my AA, and this tier of captain skill with my AA. So only went with the 1, and then I really do actually like expert loader, especially for a cruiser. I do think that this is a great skill for a cruiser to have. I didn't take it because I didn't necessarily want to spend all of the points, right? You can see he has 3 on there right now. I could kind of get, you know, maybe 2 more points and get a 5th level skill is possible here, but anyway, expert loader I think is a great cruiser skill, especially considering cruisers are constantly changing ammo type, right? Only makes sense to have this on there, but yeah, I didn't actually go for it just yet. The tier 2, I mean, we do have last stand now at tier 2, so I chose this. Obviously, I wasn't necessarily concerned about incoming fire or the chance of reducing fire prevention. My torpedoes don't matter on the Zhao. I mean, they're great torpedoes, don't get me wrong, but this doesn't really matter. I'm not looking to use my torpedoes often. Expert marksman, yes. I still went with this, even though it is a, you know, it doesn't go as it's not as good as it used to be, I should say. But I still went with it because it's just a little better than what it would be normally, and that little faster, I'll take it. Moving into 3, I mean, again with the torpedoes, this isn't a destroyer, so I don't need that. High alert, that actually isn't too bad. Wouldn't be too bad to have, I don't think. 10% reduction on the weighting of that damage control party. Anyway, torpedoes, no, don't need it. Not in the Zao, wasn't interested in dogfighting, obvious, no. But did take Superintendent. So I took Superintendent. I mean, you can see it does give me 5 charges. Well, these are also premium modules I have on the Zao, keep that in mind. But anyway, it did give me 5 charges of acoustic sonar, my catapult fighter, and my heal. Most important of all of this for me is the heal, obviously, at this tier, right? I really wanted that heal. And I think this was a good move as well, because the fighter is very useful, and acoustic sonar is also very useful. I don't run the AA defensive fire on the Zao. No, I don't do it. I'd rather have more focused on my actual main batteries than the AA. That being said, though, we jumped down to 4, right? I didn't take Demolition Expert this time. Instead, I did take the Advanced Firing Training. I did actually take this with AA in mind. This was my thinking. I was like, well, you know, it was either between Demolition Expert, Advanced Firing Training, or Survivability Expert. I actually did think about this Survivability Expert. I thought that this was going to be a great thing for the Zao to have as well, but it, you know, just got difficult to choose what I wanted. I did end up going with Advanced Firing Training because I figured that this would compensate for the no defensive fire ability that I run on the Zao, right? At least this way my AA guns are going to be able to shoot that much further out, and I figure that would be better. This is actually the skill point here at this level 4 band here that I'm most interested in knowing what you guys think, because I took Advanced Firing Training, but I'm not necessarily loving it right now. I still have to play more battles, right, in the Zao to actually start seeing the benefits of having this Advanced Firing Training, but right now I'm sort of leaning to either Survivability Expert or Demolition Expert, right? I can set fires faster, which is really good. I used to have it on the Zao before they made these changes, and I really enjoyed it. But Survivability Expert, that might be something interesting right there. Because if you recall, several months ago, I think there was a patch anyway, and the hit points on the Zao were reduced. They were. This might put it back to par with that. So, I mean, that would be nice to what it was before it was patched, right? So that, yeah. So those are the sort of 3 that I've narrowed it down to. I did take Advanced Firing Training, but I'm most interested in knowing what you guys think at this tier 4 level. You know, what would be best for a cruiser, specifically a Zao, sorry, and you know what your overall input is on these commander abilities. Obviously, I didn't get to tier 5 with the commander skills. Not as of yet. I mean, you did see that I took 2 abilities at the tier 2 level, right? So that's what attributes to this. But at the 5, I don't know. I mean, Concealment Expert actually for a Zao would be pretty great. You can see +9 concealment. Yeah, that would be awesome. Manual fire control for secondary armament. This might be cool as well. I've heard some different comments on how this works through people who had tried out the public test server. I didn't do the public test server at the time. I just didn't have time to go over there and try that stuff out. Busy with other things, right? But heard some interesting things around this. People had some, you know, positive things to say. Then there were obviously some more negative things that they had to say about it as well. And then Last Chance, yeah, not really concerned about Last Chance. I would see this maybe as being a battleship ability, but even then, I don't know. Maybe something to have on like a lower tier ship that you're just sort of, you have that you really enjoy playing, and you know, it's just sort of maybe your SEAL clubbing ship, right? I could see it coming into play there for that commander potentially. Anyway, overview of those skills and what I chose for the Zao. I mean, and then briefly, I do want to look at Shimakaze Captain, or not Shimakaze Captain, sorry, Kagero Captain. You can see I almost do have the money for the Shimakaze. I think I'm 6.3 million away, so we'll get that shortly. But anyway, on the Kagero, I did not choose the torpedo acceleration, and this is something else that I'm regretting. I mean, I do have the points. I can go and I can take it right now. But I don't know. I don't know, right? Because on the Kagero, with your 20-kilometer torpedoes, minus 20% to the range of 20 kilometers. Oh, what is that? I did the math yesterday on it. It was really simple. It was like 2 or something. So it's like 8, or instead of yeah, instead of 20 kilometer torpedoes, you had something like 17 or 18 kilometer torpedoes, which is still really good, because how often do you actually fire your torpedoes 20 kilometers away and expect to hit anything with that, right? It's no big deal at all to close in the extra few kilometers that you lose to gain that 5 knots. Because the torpedoes, the upgraded torpedoes right now in the Kagero anyway, are pretty good. I mean, they're pretty quick. I was happy with them before the patch came out and all of that. But if I can make them a little faster, I don't see any harm in that. Now, the thing I struggled with, right, is I have Superintendent. I want Superintendent, I want the speed, and I want the smoke. If I take the torpedoes and spend these 3 points, then I will not have enough points, or well, I'll still get to the tier 5 level, and I'll get my concealment expert, obviously. But if I spend all the points now, I have to wait and get 5 more points before I can get concealment expert. So I think it's better to get the concealment expert first, and then get the last 3 points and use it on those torpedoes. As you know, though, as well, or may know, your Kagero and your Hatsuharu also have the option now of trading out their smoke for the torpedo reload booster. I have not used this as of yet. I don't see it being useful in my Kagero, because that's just not the way I play my Kagero. In Hatsuharu, though, I could see it coming in handy. Something to try out and play around with, I could see it there. Anyway, yeah, those were my destroyer captain skills. Yeah, they're there. I mean, let me know again, right? I'm curious to know how you guys redistributed yours, what your thoughts were around them as well, and what you find is working, and maybe what might have changed. Because keep in mind, there's a whole change that just took place here, right? For better or for worse. I'm actually, surprisingly, I'm pretty happy with the overall changes that have taken place here. I would say there's a lot more positive here than negative, but that's me, forever the optimist, right? But just to know what you guys thought, and what your skills are that you have here, what's working for you, what's not. And maybe together we can kind of figure this out and get our captains properly skilled out here. Anyway, next thing we wanted to take a look at, we got to go under profile for this. Team battles, yes, they're here, finally. You can see I'm not part of a team as of yet. I do have plans in place, however. I tried to get some sort of confirmation on what I can share, but I didn't get the confirmation in time for the video today, so I don't know what I can share, so I can't share anything. All I can tell you is I have plans in place. Stay tuned. But yeah, these team battles, I think this is going to be great. I really do love the option and the fact that you can play as a mercenary in these battles. That is fantastic, right? In addition to that, the times that they have, it's not just something that's always going to be running, right? And I love that they did this, and for the exact reason that they said it in the video when they were coming up. You don't want to have to play off against the same teams over and over and over again all day long, right? Because there's just not many people on during the day. People have lives. Some other people do. I don't, but some other people do, right? And they've got things going on, and they're not able to play all day. So, by limiting it like this in between these times, we're going to get all of the people in at once, obviously, and you get to face off against different teams. Really awesome. So I'm actually really quite happy that this has been here, or has been added into it. And I can't wait to see how the team battles evolve. I know they're tier 5, tier 6 right now, so I'm actually been thinking in terms of what ship I'm going to take in. I've been thinking between the Nuremberg and my Cleveland, actually, right? I didn't redistribute. Oh, we'll have to go back to port. That's one thing, yeah. See, I didn't redistribute the points on my Cleveland as of yet, because I figured that this would be the ship that I'm taking into team battles. And I'm kind of on the fence right now as to how I want to spec out the captain. Another nice thing, just while we're here looking at the Cleveland, the new flag we got for ranked battles, right? As long as you made it, I don't know, rank 15 I think it was, you would get this flag. It's pretty awesome. I do enjoy it. Much nicer than the other one. Not that the other one wasn't bad. The one we had, the Japanese port flag, that was a pretty cool flag. I just, like the Union Jack. Canadian and all. So, what else did they change in this patch here? Obviously, they added the new map, Tears of the Ocean. I did get to play on it one battle on it. It didn't go too well, so it might be one of those learn from our mistake videos is where it might show up. Not 100% sure, but it was a cool map. I enjoyed it anyway. I thought it was well done, and I talked about it before. I thought it would be aesthetically pleasing, and it was, much like the port, the New York port. I really enjoy this port. So that new map was there. They added the new matchmaking systems, as they discussed as well, if you recall. So now, we can't just queue up in our admins and go Seal Club at Tier 2. We will have to face off against more experienced players. Yes, yeah, I know, it's a shame. But oh well. We'll take a look at some of the new achievements they added as well. I really like achievements, obviously, right? Everyone likes achievements, getting them, so it's awesome that they added them. So I did earn some of them already. I mean, they're really easy. Research 10 ships, like, I got all these right away. Once I logged in. Now, Naval Warfare, Arsonist, just didn't take very long to get that at all, get it in the store, but some of these other ones are going to be cool as well, because they're progression missions, right? You can see working towards a million damage here right now, so that's not too bad. More of these just random achievements for playing the game, which is always great, because after you play, I don't know, 100 battles, it didn't really mean anything, but still, I want a medal. We all want medals, so now we get some, which is pretty great. Just another sort of incentive, right, to continue going along forward with the game as well, because it's always going to be changing here. Service records, we're up to 12 now. That's not too shabby. Oh, I did get some money with that. Good, excellent. They always give out money, right, when you get to the new, when you get to a new player profile. And team battles and our summaries. The summary page didn't really change. It's the same thing. Just now, obviously, you can go down, take a look at your team battle score, right? How you've been doing here as well, which is pretty great. Another nice thing about the team battles that they did say, I haven't seen it myself, but they did say that it's skill progression. So it's not going to be like ranked battles. Ranked battles, we wanted it to be skill progression, but it wasn't. All you had to do was sit yourself down in front of your computer for 8 hours a day for, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days straight, however long it takes you, and you will get to rank 1. It's just a lot of us weren't willing to do that because it was so bloody frustrating along the way. Well, now with the team battles, don't necessarily need to worry about this. We'll still need to keep it in mind, but it's supposed to work in that, the teams will be matched based on skill, and skills determined based on how many battles you've played as a team and how many you've won and how many you've lost, right? So there's that aspect to it, which is kind of nice. Yes. Now, anything else that I wanted to discuss today? I mean, there are some obvious things that I do want to just bring up and mention again. I mean, Pudahead has that contest running in the video comment sections of the comment section of the videos. It's actually ending tomorrow. I don't think anyone's gotten it yet, so you do have a chance to win. I think it's some gold and premium time that he's offering. So I mean, it's definitely worth your while there if you can get the riddle. That is awesome. We do have our subscriber giveaways coming up next week as well. So as I mentioned, we're going to start it on Monday and then we'll run it the full week. I'm still hammering down what exactly I want to do. The challenge that I'm faced with right now is I don't want to make it so easy that it's just not a challenge. I mean, anyone can just give away things, right? But I just don't want it to be so easy that it's not a challenge. But at the same time, I don't want it to be so difficult that you guys all suddenly hate me. So that's sort of what I'm dealing with as well. And in terms of advertising for the subscriber rewards as well, I've been thinking about this, and I think, I'm not going to do any separate advertising other than it's going to be on the YouTube channel. If you happen to see it, great. Because I don't really want to encourage a huge inflow of subscribers right now. Not that there would be anyway, right? We'd get like 2. But I don't want to encourage a huge inflow of subscribers right just yet. Because I want to give you guys the best chance to win, right? You guys are the ones who have been here the longest, so obviously you should probably get some prizes here, right? So if suddenly I start advertising it through different means, there might be, I don't know, maybe 10 new subscribers. reduce the chances by that much, right? So that's what we don't want to have happen. So I think I'm just, we're just going to keep it on the channel here. I'm not going to do anything fancy on the forums or through streams or anything like that. We'll keep it on the channel. That way it gives you guys the best possible chance to actually win a prize. I haven't nailed down how many prizes I'm giving away. It's between 4 or 5. Those are the numbers that I'm working with. So there'll at least be 4 or 5 prizes to give away, and obviously there'll be like, first, second, third. There'll probably be, I don't know, 2 other prizes. I'll make something up and give you 2 other prizes. That'll work well. Anyway, I just thought, that we take a look at some of the changes, specifically the commander abilities for today's video. Not necessarily going to look at any videos today. I'm fairly busy as well. That's another reason why the video is up a little later today than it is normally. So let me know what you guys think about the commander abilities. Don't just spam hate though. Everyone can complain, all right? I'd be more interested in knowing why you would hate, or why you hate something, and maybe why you like something. That would be more interesting for me anyway. And more importantly too, what your thoughts are on how, say, like a cruiser should be spec'd. Like a Japanese cruiser now should be spec'd versus an American cruiser. I've still been doing traditional lines down the old, Japanese is my main batteries and my Americans are my AA cruisers. Interesting to see as well, before we go, now that I thought about it, talking about cruisers, the old McHale, yes. Didn't this thing get a pretty great buff? Not that it really necessarily needed it, I don't think, but now it shoots 19.1 kilometers stock. Yeah. Just... to be honest with you, when they did the advanced firing training and they were reducing it, right? We all knew they were reducing it. I thought they were reducing it from 155 to 152 so that the McHale would still benefit from it. And I wasn't necessarily in an outrage about it, but I was like, oh yeah, Russian bias, obvious, right? And then I found out that it was 139, and I was like, oh, that's great. Guess the bias didn't exist, and I'll take out my McHale, need some credits, gonna get the Shimikaze. Oh my god, my McHale shoots 19 kilometers now. Blew my mind. Oh, and it's damn hard to hit anything out that far. Anyway, we rabbled enough here. We rabbled enough. As always, thanks for tuning in, watching the video through. Leave any comments you have for me. Anything at all. Specifically, though, I'd love to know about your commander abilities, how you guys went about distributing those. Hit the old like button if you did like today's video. Hit subscribe if you were not a subscriber. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.